All right, so we're just going to read through it to begin. A poll of 300 people determined that 180 had subscriptions to the hard copy Daily Gazette. 52 had hard copy and online subscriptions, and 22 had neither. How many had only online subscription? All right, so it says 22 as neither, so I'm actually going to box this Venn diagram up. And then we need to label our groups. So we have people that have the hard copies. Okay, and we will label that with an H. And then we have the people that have online. We have two different groups. All right, and we will label that with a, I don't want to use an O. I will say it's on. Okay, I'll do that, on. All right, so we have the hard copy group that we're going to represent in the Venn diagram, and we have the online group that we're going to represent in the Venn diagram. Then let's read this one more time. A poll of 300 people determined that 180 had subscriptions to the hard copy Daily Gazette. 52 had hard copy and online subscriptions, and 22 had neither. How many had only online subscriptions? Okay. All right, so what I want to look at, and I always start with what's in the middle first. All right, so what's in the middle? What is in this piece of the Venn diagram? Well, visually, that piece, the part that I've highlighted yellow, is the part where the two groups overlap. And that overlap means that they have hard copy and they have online subscriptions. Well, we know how much that is, right? Because it tells us specifically 52 had hard copy and online subscriptions. 52. So we're going to put 52 in the middle of the, that's where the overlap is. Okay, there are 52. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some more information that we are given. Okay, so 22 had neither. So in the box, if 22 are neither have hard copy nor online, that 22, those 22 people are floating outside of the bubbles. Okay. Now, another piece of information that we have is that 180 has subscriptions to the hard copy Daily Gazette, 180. So that means when we look at the hard copy, that's right here. Okay, so we can actually, probably it's better if we highlight this. 180 had subscriptions to the hard copy Daily Gazette. That is everything in the highlighted pink area. Now, notice that we already have 52. We already have 52. So that means in this area, because the two numbers together combined have to be 180. So this piece that I'm looking at, in fact, I'm going to highlight it only. This part right here in pink is going to be 180 minus the 52 already spoken for, which gives us 128. So there are 128 in that circle as well. It's the part of the circle that lies outside, completely outside of the online subscriptions. Okay, completely outside. Now, that means when we look at all of this together, what we have, have we answered what we need to answer? Now, the question we have is as follows. How many online subscriptions? Oh, by the way, it's online, only online subscriptions. Only. All right, only. So that is going to be this piece out here. That piece out there, that piece in green. Well, how can we find it? Well, we know that the total number of people that we polled were 300. And we also have a little bit of additional information. We know that here are 22 are spoken for, 128 are spoken for, and these 52 that are in both groups are spoken for. So that means if I take right here, if I take 300 and I subtract 22, the people that don't have either subscription, the 100, and then the 180, which is the 128 plus the 52. Okay, the people that have hard copy, that is going to give us the number that goes in the green. Now, if you do 300 and what's in parentheses ends up being 202, this number gives us 98. 98. So our final answer, it would be the number of people. There are, we should say a little bit better here, there are 98 people who have only online subscription. There are 98 people, there's our answer, that have only online subscription. We have three groups because if you look at the Venn diagram, the three groups overlap. And so it gives us a little bit of information. It tells us 100 college students were interviewed. If 28 took physical education, 31 took biology, 32 took English, 9 took physical education and biology, 10 took physical education and English, 6 took biology and English, 4 took all three subjects. How many, and then it asks us questions. How many students took only one subject? So they only took English, or they only took physical education, or they only took biology. How many students took physical education but not biology or English? And how many students took biology and physical education but not English? So we are going to fill in your Venn diagram completely before we answer these questions. Okay. Now, we need groups. We need groups. So I'm going to go ahead and establish what some groups are. And I'm going to say that P is going to stand for the physical education. I'm going to let B equal the biology group. And I'm going to let E equal the English group. And I'm going to label my Venn diagram. So I'm going to say this top group is physical education. The group on the left is biology, lower left, and the group on the lower right is English. All right, now when you do a Venn diagram, if possible, start in the middle piece. Now this middle piece, notice, is overlapped by all three groups. That means this little piece contains the number of students that are in all three groups. And when I read through the question, I notice that there are 4 that took all 3 subjects. So I'm going to put in 4 right in the middle. All right, now I can go to any other group, but I'm going to just kind of really read back on in the problem. I'm going to look for here, 6 took biology and English. Biology and English. Okay, right here, this piece here is the overlap for biology and English. Notice right here. Now, that is the whole overlap. So that means that entire overlap has to contain only 6 students, only 6, which tells me that this little piece that is outside the green piece that has 4, it is going to end up having 6 minus 4, or 2 students. It's going to have 2 students. Now why? Because every group in the overlap, every group in that overlap has to add up to 6. It has to add up to 6. So when we look for it, we have to do a little subtraction after we get that middle piece done. We have to get a little subtraction. Okay, so here we have, this is the English, right? This whole piece here is English and biology. So let's move back. Let's look for another piece here. And I'm going to look for the 10 took physical education and English. Physical education and English. Okay, well, I'm going to erase the pictures, the colors that we have here. And this part, physical education and English. Oops, I meant to do this. This whole piece is physical education and English, the whole piece. So if I have 10, that means that this piece, which I am just going to highlight the solid green piece, that is going to have 10, which the number of students in physical education and English, minus 4, the students that are in all 3 subjects. So that would give us 6, and I would put a 6 in here. Now notice, in that whole green wedge, 4 plus 6 is 10, and there were 10 students that took physical education and English. All right, so let's keep going. We're going to move back in the problem, find another bit of information, and it says 9 took physical education and biology. All right, so these right here is the part of the Venn diagram where physical education and biology is described. And the solid shaded area here, okay, is going to be only part of those 9 students. So to find out, here is where we're going to take the 9 students that are in both physical education and biology, and we're going to subtract the 4 students that are in all 3. We end up with a 5. So here are 5 students. All right, so we've kind of taken care of the first 2, or the inner layers of this Venn diagram. All right, and now we're going to talk about what is in each of the groups. Yep, let me try to put that back in. We had a 5. All right, so let's take a look and go just a little bit out a little further. And we have 42 took English. All right, 42. Well, this is all of my English. And I know that right here, right there, in that dark purple spot, the darkened purple spot, there are 12. So that means in this piece, we're going to have 42, and then we're going to subtract 6 plus 4 plus 2, which is the sum of the students that we've already put in there. We've already put 12 students into that circle. They're just in different parts of the circle, because some of the students also took physical education, and they also took biology. So 42 minus 12 gives us a total of 30 students. 30 students took English, but they did not take biology, nor did they take physical education. All right, so let's take a look at another piece. And it says 31 took biology. All right, biology, here we go. Here's our biology piece. But we have to take out the pieces, the number of students that are already in the biology bubble. okay, or the biology circle, if you will. So here we have, there were 31 students who took biology, but I'm going to subtract from that 5 plus 4 plus 2, because those are the numbers that are already placed in the biology circle, the biology bubble, which is 11. So 31 minus 11 gives me 20. So 20 students took only biology. Okay, they did not take physical education, nor did they take English. Okay, so we have one more. Let's take a look. We have one more piece, and that is 28 took physical education. The physical education piece is right here, but we already have students spoken for. What I need to find for what is in the bubble, right, that we have left, is we take 28 and we're going to subtract the number of the other students already placed in sections of that bubble. 28 minus the sum of 4 plus 5 plus 6, or 15. That means 13 students took physical education, but they did not take English, nor did they take biology. Now, once you get your Venn diagram filled out, that is when we can go ahead and answer the questions. All right, so we are set to answer our question. How many students took only took, oh, this is poorly, I need to make another, only one subject, it should say. Sorry about that. Only one subject. They took only biology, only English, or only physical education. So when I look at where is what are the parts of the Venn diagram that show only one, students who only took one subject, it would be these outermost bubbles, the outermost. And then we would just have to add them, okay? 13 plus 20 plus 30, because those are the areas that do not cross or overlap with any other subject. So 13 plus 20 plus 30 gives us 63 students. That would be the answer to A. B. How many students took physical education, but not biology or English? Okay, it took physical education, but not biology or English. So it would be the place in the bubble that does not overlap with biology or English. And here we would have 13 students. Question C. How many students took biology and physical education, but not English? All right, so we need the part of the bubbles where physical education and biology overlap, but English isn't part of it. And that would be this little piece right here. So notice it's an overlap of biology and it's an overlap of physical education, but English, none of the English circle is there. So we would say or answer this question, 5 students. 5 students. And that is how we would answer these questions. Biggest thing here would be to fill in your Venn diagram correctly. And then we can answer the questions.